permitting protests, a thorny issue during COVID, says UK Foreign Secretary, warning of widespread disobedience if precedent is set. And they're talking about recent protests in the UK over, this is a story about internal British politics. You can go and read about it here if you want. The protests are more or less justified. But here it is. The thorny issue is how we allow peaceful protest expressing our concern with something as terrible as the Sarah Everett case, with also the public concern as we come through this vicious and deadly pandemic. So that's the very fine line we've got to navigate. And they're saying if we made exceptions for one thing or another, however compelling it is, we would start to see widespread disobedience with the rules. And then what would that mean? He explained. And I'm pointing this out because while at face value that might seem like a legitimate concern that the British government has, I want to remind everyone that the British government, along with the United States and other countries in the West, have been pressuring nations like Thailand, for example, over protests in their streets. And Thailand using COVID as one of many reasons why the protesters shouldn't be out on the streets. The US, the UK, other countries in Western Europe have told Thailand, you need to let these people protest. It's their human right. Completely oblivious to all of the hysteria about COVID that the West has been spreading all of this time. So again, it's just a perfect example of Western hypocrisy, where they will promote mobs in the streets whenever it benefits them, and then whenever it is a threat to them, they will make the exact same excuses they are denying others. They will use those excuses to tell people in their own country, in the streets of their own cities, not to come out and protest. So again, these are not principles the West actually stands for or fights for around the globe. These are things they hide their agenda behind. They are funding and sponsoring the mobs in the streets here in Thailand and in other countries around the world as part of their color revolution, soft power mechanism. They want those protests to go forward. They don't care about COVID or the impact on human health. If everything they were saying about COVID was true, wouldn't that mean encouraging protests in another country that could potentially spread the virus around and infect more people? Wouldn't that eventually come around back to the West? So you kind of have to wonder about some of these things that they've been saying. Is it that they're misleading people with what they're saying, or is it that they're being incredibly irresponsible despite how serious this all is? I leave that to the viewers to decide. If you thought this video was useful, please like and share it. Think about subscribing to the channel. It's free to do. It helps the channel grow. I also have a channel on Odyssey. Please check that out. The link is in the video description below, as is the link to this article. There are also ways there that you can help support my work so that I can continue doing videos like this. To everyone who has been helping out in every single way, thank you so much. And as always, thank you for watching.